Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to Beauty and the Beat. This is your girl TK, just coming to you with a quick video. One of the suggestions that I have received, and thank you so much, was to go over different products that you want to have on hand. So I was making sure I had all my little stuff together, everything in arm's reach, so I'm not reaching all over the video. We're just going to discuss briefly what products you want to have to make sure you can have a good beat. As you can see, I have a pretty natural beat today with some cute little colors. You know, I have to do my little shimmer, the custom shimmer. You know, I like the little shimmer. But this is just pretty, pretty basic beat. So these are the products that I will use just even if I was just going to quickly do a once over and run out the door. The very first thing you want to have a really good primer. Now, I use Milk Hydro Grip Primer. Now, Milk is kind of expensive, I won't lie to you. But e.l.f. has a really good primer that is comparable to this. I don't remember the exact name of it, but e.l.f. does have a good primer that you can use on your skin. So if you're balling on a budget, and you can hit up Walgreens, Walmart, Target, whatever department store is your favorite, or the one, whatever your go-to is, whichever one is your go-to. You can go there. You can definitely pick out some e.l.f. primer. Very good to have. You want to definitely make sure you have on primer under your foundation. And as we talk about bare face, even before the primer, you want to make sure you have a really good moisturizer, okay? Even if you have oily skin, you definitely want to make sure you have a moisturizer. Now, what you want to do, depending on your type of skin, you want to research what type of moisturizer is good for your skin tone. For example, I have combination skin. So the type of moisturizer I would use would be different from someone who has oily skin and someone who has dry skin. Now, some of the products with somebody with combination skin like me, some of the products may be similar, but there will be some differences. So you definitely want to research which moisturizer works best for your skin type. Okay, so we've talked about moisturize. You want to make sure you moisturize your face before you get started. After you moisturize, you want to make sure you have a really good primer to get your face ready for the product that you're about to use. The next thing you want to do is have a really good foundation. And even before you put on foundation, you will see that some makeup artists use a concealer under their foundation and then they'll put the foundation on. I'll talk about the concealer a little bit more after the foundation, so we can just, kind of stay on track. Okay? So the foundation that I'm wearing now, and one of my go-to foundations, is Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Soft Matte. I love this foundation because, as you can see, it matches perfectly, even down to my little neck. It just looks a little dark because this pink is giving off a little crazy tan thing, but camera, oh well. But this is one of my favorite that I go for. If I don't, let's say I'm on I went too hard shopping, because girl, I do like to shop. If I went too hard shopping and I don't have, the money to get the Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte, I'll go to this is my go-to, Fit Me. I like a matte Fenty, Fit Me. And this is by Maybelline, does come in matte and dewy. So if you have dry skin, you may want to go with the dewy. If you have really oily skin, you definitely want to probably stick to a matte. I have combination, so I have matte and I have dewy. It kind of just depends on which way my skin want to go that day, because we women, sometimes we just can't make up our mind. But anyway, those are the foundations that I go to. Now, you definitely if you're just starting out, it's going to be a little trial and error. You definitely want to try foundations that you feel work for you, brands that you're comfortable with if you already have one. If you don't have a brand that you're comfortable with, I would definitely suggest starting with Maybelline. Kind of try out some of those and see which one works for you. Okay? So now that we've talked about foundation, I now want to go ahead and jump to the concealer. So with the concealer, If I am doing a photo shoot, if I have a really big meeting, if it's not something where I'm just stepping out and coming back in, if I'm doing something major and I know I gotta look flawless, I will put the concealer under my foundation. So this is a brand new one. This is from Crayon Case. I do use quite a few products from Crayon Case. It's black owned. Super is just the bomb. And her products are very reasonable. So this is the Conceal Me palette. So I made sure I use the new one because my old one is, baby, I done used this thing. Child, you see that? Your girl be working. I be using this one. So as you can see, it has different tones. Now, if I decide to put the concealer under my foundation because I'm going for a really flawless look, and I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm finna do some things. I'm finna be looking like I'm looking. I make sure if I'll use a lighter color concealer for my eyeshadow area. If I'm going to be using bright colors, the more neutral tones are the tones that's closer to my skin. Like this tone here, this is what I usually put under my eyes before I put my foundation on. And then I'll put some setting powder, you know, go over it, you know, set that concealer with some setting powder. And once that's set, then I'll come in with my foundation. Okay. Now, as it relates to using concealer over your foundation, you want to make sure that your foundation is good. You want to make sure it's spread out evenly. You want to make sure there's no spots. You want to make sure you have some really good brushes, which we'll get to in a minute. You definitely want to make sure that your foundation is spread out evenly and make sure that you worked it in. Then what I do with my concealer, and I use, again, Crayon Case. I have quite a few that I use. But these are the ones that's closer to my skin tone. So, as you can see, they're different numbers because the tint is a bit different. So, what I'll do is usually I stick with number 60. And I'll put number 60 and I'll put this under my eye. And usually I just pat it. I'll just pat it under there, and I didn't even do it this time. You can probably tell I didn't even, you know, do that under there. So I'll set it under there after I've had, you know, after I have all my foundation on. And I usually do this after my eyeshadow too. Matter of fact, I'll do it now since I haven't done it. See, I'm hardly got nothing in there. About time to get another 60. So since I didn't do it this time, I'll go ahead and show you. So as you can see, I take my little fourth finger. This is usually anytime you're doing product with eye, you want to stick to this finger because as you can see, I mean, it's your ring finger. You barely use it, so it doesn't apply a lot of pressure. Or you can use a brush. If you're new to this, definitely use a brush. But I'm just going to go under my eye. I haven't had a chance to do this yet with this look that I have on. So you'll shape that out depending on, you know, by the shape of your face. Let's see. Okay. And again, you want to use a tone, a color that is close to your skin tone, but just a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to go over that with some setting powder. Going to use my beat down brush. I got this brush offline from Doses of D website. I love this brush because it does everything. So you just go there and just pat that in. And this is how you highlight under your eyes, or this is how you conceal, because that's really what you're doing, any dark areas or anything like that. Now see how much different and better that looks since I've done that? Most people, when you'll hear them say they're baking it, and what that means is they just let, and you see how I'm actually working it in now that I have it there. When you hear someone say that they're baking it, that means that they take the setting powder and they let it sit there for a while. And then what happens is it actually bakes in or sets that concealer that they put there. I like to work mine in. I don't really like to bake it. I like to bake cookies, not my face. But hey, there's no right or wrong way. You can bake it if you want to bake it. You don't have to bake it if you don't want to bake it. As you see, I didn't bake it, and guess what? Still looks good. That goes to show preference. So yeah, so that is how you apply the concealer under your eyes. So you definitely want to have a good concealer. You definitely want to have a good one. Now, if you don't want to get crayon case or you don't have a go-to, look at e.l.f. Matter of fact, I have an e.l.f. Contour palette. And contour is what you do. I always contour last after I've done my eyeshadow. And again, like I've highlighted my eyes, I highlight my nose, you know, my little Cupid's bow. Once I bring all of that in, I want to bring some depth back into my skin. So I will use a contour palette or a contour book. Now, I will use this one from e.l.f. I love e.l.f. if I don't use any other brand. Another contour that is really good to use is Fenty. Fenty has a really good, excuse me, make sure I don't waste this here, that their highlight. Fenty has a really good contour. And then of course, y'all know I'm crazy about the crayon case. Crayon case has a Contourism notebook. And as you can see, it has all of the different dark tones. Well, all of the tones of the contour that you will use. So basically you would take the darker colors and you would just, you know, basically just map out that portion. And then you would fill in with the lighter colors. Not sure if you can see that, but as you can see on this one, matter of fact, I think I have one that's not open, which I do. I always got one that's not open. As you can see, this picture shows you basically the areas and how you want to contour. This is another reason why I'm kind of switch or lean towards crayon case, because even if you don't know how to contour or are not sure about contouring, it walks you through the steps and what it should look like. Okay, and again, this is the Contourism notebook from crayon case. So we've talked about making sure you contour. We've talked about making sure you have your concealer under your eyes. You also want to use concealer under your eyeshadow, or you can use an eyeshadow base. I use the ones from P. Louise. I use the P. Louise eyeshadow bases if I am going to do bright colors and I want it to pop. If I'm doing more natural, neutral tones, I will go ahead and just stick with my concealer because I'm not doing anything, I'm not doing anything major. Another thing you want to make sure you have is really good highlighter. Crayon case has loose highlighters. That's what I was over here messing with, making sure I didn't waste it. But they also have highlighters that are packed as well. This is my Fenty highlighter. I love this one as well. This is one of my go-tos whenever I want to shimmer. Matter of fact, the Fenty is the one that I have on my nose right here, looking ever so shiny, ever so glistening. That's the one I have on right now. Yes, I do. All right. So finally, we have went through foundation. We went through primers. We went through concealers. We went through all of that. Now comes one of the most important things as it relates to your makeup. One of the most important things is having some good wipes. This is loosely from crayon case. These wipes, you will hear a lot of people talk about them because the wipes are good. And let me tell you, all of the hype is true. I can take one wipe, and even with all of this stuff they got on there, the concealer, the foundation, the contour, all of that, all I need is one wipe and it will get all of it off with one wipe. You definitely, even if you don't, let's just say you're like, I don't want to use crayon case. That's fine. You don't have to. But you want to make sure you get one that is, that is really good quality. Again, e.l.f. You can stick, you can really do e.l.f. all the way around and be okay. And I always suggest if you're a beginner, definitely start with e.l.f. or a department store brand so that you can kind of build yourself up to it. But if you want to start with Crayon Case is one of the companies that I would definitely suggest starting with because of how their product is. I mean, I just showed you the Contourization notebook, and it showed you actually how to contour your face. Outside of having really good makeup wipes, you want to have good brushes and brush cleaner. Now, these are from Crayon Case, and the reason why I'm showing you these brushes is because Crayon Case labels their brushes. So as you can see, that's a small cream brush. Then we have our crease brush. We have our flat shader brush. Then we have a medium blending brush. And then we have a shadow blender. So they label their brushes. Now, if you can find a different company in a department store or anywhere else that labels, I think Morphe may label them. I think Morphe does too. I think I have like one Morphe brush, but it's a number like a 42, something like that. Definitely stick to Crayon Case or stick to e.l.f. e.l.f. also labels their brushes too. I have two e.l.f. brushes. These are the two brushes I started with. I started with a blending eye brush from e.l.f. and I started with an eyeshadow. I started with these two brushes. These are the two brushes that I started doing makeup with, and that was years ago. And as you can see, I still have them and they're still in good condition. I just need to wash them. Good brushes to start with. And again, e.l.f., those brushes may be about $2 or $3. So you can, do e.l.f. As you can see, e.l.f. has them labeled as well. Or you can do Crayon Case, or you can do Morphe. Do whatever works for your pocketbook because, everybody's budget is different. So you definitely want to do that. You also want to end your look with a setting spray. This is NYX. You can get NYX out of the store, or you can order it online, or you can order from Amazon, however you want to do it. I have a antibacterial spray that I use on my brushes in between washes. You definitely want to make sure you spray your brushes in between washes with an antibacterial, and then you want to wash them. I wash mine maybe once a week, once every week and a half, once a week or week and a half, depending on how much makeup I have used that week. Because I don't want my products, or I don't want my brushes to get built up and get gunky. So I really think that's it as far as products that I use. If you have any suggestions, definitely leave them in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Yeah, definitely give me some feedback. If you're new to the channel, how you doing? Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can know when I'm on. I try to post content twice a week. If I can't do twice a week, it'll definitely be once a week. But as of now, I'm being consistent with twice a week because I definitely want to keep some content out there for you all. So with that being said, we are done for the day. Make sure y'all leave me a comment, like this video, share it with your friends, even your enemies, because they might be ugly anyway. Just share the video, show me some love, and again, reach out to me on any of my social media platforms, okay? Until next time, talk to you later. Ciao.